Hello everyone and welcome back to the channel for another Star Wars Battlefront II video. Today we have some pretty huge news as a new section of the roadmap was released, giving us some details on a new game mode that's unlike anything we've ever seen before, and I think this one is going to get some of you guys pretty hyped. We also have a few other bits of news to cover in regards to some balancing changes on Geonosis, and a whole lot more. Anyways guys, with all of that being said, let's get into this. So out of nowhere this morning, a new section of the Battlefront II content roadmap was released, this time giving us more details on what is to come in February. We all knew that we'd be getting a new game mode alongside Anakin, but we really didn't know anything about it. Really all we knew was that Geonosis would be one of the maps featured with the mode, and that there would be capture points included at some point. Well, this morning it was announced that the new mode would not only feature capital ship takedowns, but that we'll also be able to play inside of the capital ships in this new game mode, meaning we'll be able to travel from the ground up into the inside of the dreadnoughts and destroyers after we've taken the capture points on the ground. I honestly am not sure how this will work, as currently there is nothing similar in Battlefront 2. It doesn't go into details on how this is going to play out, but I very much doubt you'll be able to jump into a vehicle and just fly up into the capital ships. I'm assuming there'll be some form of a cutscene, either once all capture points have been taken, you'll just be able to travel up to the capital ship yourself, or there will be completely separate phases for the mode. So once you've completed phase 1, your whole team will have the option to go through a short cutscene and spawn back in on the capital ship. It would be super cool if there were just vehicles available that you could use to fly up, but that just seems so out there for Battlefront 2, I just don't see it happening, unfortunately, even though they did do something similar way back in Battlefront Elite Squadron for the like 7 of you that remember that game. What's even more exciting about this, at least for me, is that we'll be pretty much getting entirely new maps with this mode, or at least sections of maps. If you're kind of confused with what this mode will be, and keep in mind this is just my best interpretation of what the mode is going to be, the maps you start off on the ground will be pretty much the same. The rumor is this mode will be coming to Naboo, Geonosis, and Tatooine at least at first, but you'll start off on a slightly altered version of those maps on the ground. Those maps are going to have capture points you'll have to take, and probably fire something to lower the defenses of the capital ships, and only after all capture points have been taken, you'll be able to enter the capital ships yourself, which I suppose will be entirely new maps for us. Once you're on the capital ships, I would imagine there'll be some sort of objective you'll have to complete just to destroy the enemy ship from the inside, and then after doing so you'll have a short amount of time to escape, get off the ship, and hopefully survive. This mode is called Titan in the files of Battlefront 2. There's already a ton of references to the new mode in the files, and if you're not familiar with the Titan game mode, it was a game mode in one of the old Battlefield games, so most people are basing what they think this mode will be off of that game mode, which makes perfect sense. I'll leave a link in the description to an old Battlefield video I came across that covers the Titan mode from Battlefield, just in case you want to give it a watch to get a better understanding of what this mode is likely to be. I watched it this morning just to try to understand what exactly DICE is going for with this new mode, as we don't have a lot of concrete information. Moving on, Ben did announce this morning that the team over at DICE is looking to make some huge changes to Geonosis, again to the health of the ATTEs and hard cells. He said that according to their data, the Separatists are not winning nearly as often as the Republic, and they are considering reducing the health of the ATTEs and increasing the health of the hard cells. Personally, and I don't know how you guys feel about this, I have had the opposite experience. Almost every time I play Geonosis, the Separatists end up winning. I think I've only been in a game where the clones won like one time. To be fair, when I'm on Geonosis, I'm always just going for the hero kill streaks, so maybe things would be different if I were in an ATTE myself, but the truth of the matter is the ATTEs are extremely easy to take down. All you have to do is shoot. Tons of people are already sniping, maybe some of them have disruptor shot on, and if you're playing as the Republic, it's a bit more complicated, so new players are just not going to really know how to effectively take down the hard cells, so I've definitely noticed all ATTEs being destroyed before the hard cells even have a chink in their armor in a lot of games I've been in. But I'm sure DICE has access to way more data than I ever will from just my own experience, and honestly I'd much prefer Geonosis games to last longer than they currently do anyways, so I'm not really concerned with what they do with this either way. Another small update, if any of you were still holding out hope that we'd be getting more campaign content in the future, unfortunately you are out of luck. This is the first time I've really seen anyone address this, but Ben straight up said that DICE has no plans for additional campaign DLC. I honestly couldn't really care less. Maybe if the campaign campaign was the highlight of the game, I'd be disappointed, but I would much rather DICE just focus on new multiplayer content because to me, that is what matters, and I only played the campaign one time and will probably never touch it again. The most disappointing thing about the campaign, apart from, and spoilers, Iden defecting about 10 seconds after it starts, was just how much great content is in the campaign and how many amazing assets are there that still have not been used in the multiplayer. There is a full Bespin map just waiting to be transformed into a really neat Galactic Assault map. Pilio, Sullust, and Jakku are all just waiting to be added to modes like HVV or Blast, and there's even a couple of maps that would be great additions to Starfighter Assault, and I really hope that one day we get to see some of that moved into multiplayer, especially some of these small maps that would take very little effort on DICE's part to make work for online play, because HVV doesn't really matter the layout, but Pilio would be amazing, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see if that ever happens. I know they've mentioned it, and it's something they are looking into. Also, and hopefully this will be the end of the million comments I still get to this day about it, Palpatine is not getting a lightsaber in Battlefront 2. A fan asked over on Twitter if they could give Palpatine, one of the most unique heroes in the game I might add, a lightsaber, and Ben pretty much said exactly what I've been saying since day one. With Dooku and Anakin on the way, there is no shortage of lightsaber heroes in this game. I understand that it would be cool to have a separate Palpatine hero with a lightsaber, but why on earth would you want to remove the one hero with Force Lightning and a really unique moveset to have another lightsaber hero? Because a lot of people suggest exactly that. I'm glad he gave an answer here. We have 8 lightsaber heroes and soon we'll have 10, and only one hero with Force Lightning, so what Ben said makes perfect sense. Palpatine has always been a blast to play with through all of his ups and downs and ups again. The final community transmission of 2018 was also released this morning, and while I do usually cover community transmissions in full detail, this one was just a retrospective looking back at the past year of Battlefront 2, looking over the ups and downs and everything in between, with no real new information included. If you are feeling nostalgic or are just a huge fan of the franchise, I guess it's worth checking out. I will have it linked down below if you do want to, but there's really nothing of note in the transmission. I think it was just the devs' way of reminding us how much this game has improved from the start. I will never forget the way the progression system was at launch, and the many glitches that make the current build of the game look like a flawless masterpiece in comparison. And also, does anyone remember how bad the loading times used to be for this game? Back when I used to stream this game a few times a week, I would spend half of the stream just loading into the game. I swear I'd have time to order a pizza, have the pizza deliver, eat the pizza at a medium pace, clean up and do the dishes, and then I'd come back and maybe I'd be just about loaded into the next match. Maybe I'm exaggerating a little bit, but the load times were ridiculous at launch. I still really can't believe just how bad they were, but they're really good now, so it's not a problem. One final thing, some new animations for Anakin were also found in the files. If you'll remember last month, some of his basic attack animations were showcased, but the most recent update has added a new dash for Anakin, and appears to have updated and smoothed out his attack animations a little bit. Just like Dooku, these animations, even applied to Obi-Wan, look just like you'd expect Anakin to fight, and you can instantly tell who you're looking at even though it's not his model, which definitely says a lot about the quality of work put in. On top of that, all of Dooku's victory poses have been found by Mophead as well, who as always will be linked in the description if you want to check him out. Well guys, that is going to do it for today's video. What did you think of all this news? Personally, I am very happy to see DICE is putting in so much work, especially over a year post-launch, which is pretty incredible for a game that had such a rocky start. I remember back in June, I was pretty much convinced DICE was just going to give up on this game. I figured we'd get Grievous and Obi-Wan alongside Geonosis, and that would be the end of it. I was really surprised when Dooku and Anakin were announced alongside them, and lately I've just found myself more and more shocked at how much this game has been improving, and to be honest, most of that improvement has come in the last few months. Of course, the progression change was huge, but at the time, so many other things were broken, it didn't really matter. But now, man, this game is great. I wouldn't still be playing it a year post-launch if it weren't. Anyways, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and make sure to subscribe to the channel if you are new around here, as we would be honored if you would join us. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
I'm jumping in my